is we'll add a system dynamics component. This is an easy way to do it. So I will have in the system dynamics component a stock here, and I'll have to be their age, and there'll be a flow in. So I'm going to drag a flow over here. Oh, look at that. Woo, that's a big arrow. And so this will be called aging process. Oh, come on, and then connect with that. Yeah, and they've changed this quite a bit between versions. Okay, there we go. So this is their age, their aging. It starts at age 0, right? And we could have their infection. Their aging will be a rate of 1. So they're going to age at 1 unit per unit time. This is actually a better way to do aging, but this will illustrate the principle. And then we could have the rate depend on their age, right? The older they are, the higher the chance to get infective. Now, if we were to do this, however, it turns out that AnyLogic coming to susceptible state sort of pre-schedules at what time to do this, kind of waking it up and saying, hey, go figure out again how quickly you're going to leave. And there's ways of doing that, and one of them is a so-called self-transition. You transition from the state back to itself, and it's kind of re-entering the same state and calculate all the transitions leaving the state. So you could do that, and what you could do is with a state chart here, have a transition from this state to itself, and there's a way to kind of get these things to bend around. So if you go and you double click, I think it is, on these, excuse me, is it control double click? You can bend these things around so they go back to the same state. Now I'll just pull it through and connect it like that. And we could have this go off every time unit, and by doing that, it will now be calculating the chance per unit time. Every unit of time, it'll be recalculating the chance of leaving, okay? And we can go simulate this then, and you have agents who age are more and more likely to get infected. So there's a higher and higher sort of rate of infection over time. And in fact, these are getting infected so quickly that they're only very transiently getting better. You could see the sort of beeping out there. Yeah. Okay, sure. So, sort of mechanically how I do it, or? Okay, so all I did is I dragged this in here, okay, and then I connected one edge of the state with that, or one edge of the transition with that state, and then the other edge of the transition with the state, and then it's a self transition. It goes from itself, and then I had a timeout of 1 here. Yeah, okay. That will get it to recalculate all rates going out. Okay.
It doesn't do that automatically.
No, in some cases it can. There are cases where if you have certain mechanisms, it will automatically recalculate that. Automatically recalculate those rates. In general, unless you're quite sure it's going to be recalculating, you're going to want to sort of make sure that it's recalculating it.
What's the value of aging?
Sorry?
Aging plus the value of low aging?
So it's 1. You're aging 1 year per year of time. You know. So if we run this model, we should be able to see, by the way, this is the first hybrid model we built. It says it's in it, right? And if we run this now, what you'll see is as you run it, you go down to the level of agents and see they have value 5, 6, and so their age is 7, etc. Right? So their age is changing over time according to that stock and flow. And you can also calculate the amount of time they've spent smoking over their entire life, for example. So it would only accumulate when they're in a smoking state, etc.
If we don't use that self transition, the aging wouldn't play any role in that.
Yeah, so what I was indicating to Todd is there's certain constructs in your model in which case it will automatically recalculate the age and the time of that transition. But if you didn't have the self-transition, in general, it might just calculate it once, and it won't be recalculated every time age changes.
So it's a sort of a trait to exist.
Yeah. There's another, correct, there's another way to do it, which is through what's called on-change, but this is kind of a trick to get it to recalculate this, yeah. It's not particularly deep in terms of any modeling significance. It's just a way to kind of get it to wake up periodically and recompute the rate, okay? Okay, so I'm going to just talk about a couple other things